All right, peace and blessings, family. Good evening. This is a special report. A lot of y'all asked me how was Sister Javon doing down there in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and give thanks today. I was able to talk to her, and now I have her here live. Hey, Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you. I'm feeling really good right now because I just left the clinic. It's 8:30 out here, and we finally got our generators repaired. We have these really large generators, and it was a process. We had to they're natural gas generators, and the gas got turned off, so we just had to put 750 gallons of diesel gas in this generator, and so now one side of the clinic at least has air conditioning and lights, which was a huge deal. So that was a win today. And then we also just had got some portable toilets dropped off, and that was a huge win today because we don't have any plumbing. Like we don't have water over here, so people have not been able to flush the toilet for days unless you dump water in or you use all of these other methods. So anyway, I'm leaving feeling a little hopeful because this morning I woke up and I was just done. I was just so frustrated and down about some things that you go through when you're in a situation like this. And so I know earlier today I called you, Ro, and just broke out in tears, just out of frustration. So when I got back, I was the people were waiting on me for the generator and everything. So I'm really excited about that because what that means is tomorrow we can get the another company is going to pump water in for us so that we can open up the gym so that people who need respite can come in and get some air. And that's what we were trying to do. It's very hot out here. The other day I was trying to lay in my house and it's just, I mean, imagine a very hot, humid day with no air conditioning
Mm.
and having to think about all of the luxuries we have and what happens when they're taken away. So yeah, that's so I'm leaving now. It's pitch black out here. We don't have any. I don't know if you can see if I cut off the lights. Like this is what it looks like outside. There are no street lights or anything. The It's just black.
So Javon, if you could just for some people who may not know everything, what was it like when Laura was coming in? How did the city prepare? And particularly what's happening there in North Lake Charles, because that's historically black, right?
Right. I don't know how long it's been black because I find that in cities, a lot of times the communities have shifted, depending on what generation you are in. But for this generation, like probably for a little bit of more than 100 years at least, it's been black because a lot of people that I know in their 50s and 60s, they grew up here and their parents lived here. So it's been a black community for a long time. Um, Preparing for Laura. So I'm from San Francisco. I've never been through a hurricane before. And then this was a category 4 hurricane. So we did get information that a hurricane was coming, but when we found out that it was going to be category 4, the order was to evacuate. So I don't know every detail that went on with emergency planning because for some reason, SWLA, which is a huge provider of medical care in Louisiana, we have 5 sites. We provide about 100,000 visits a year. I'm a little upset that we weren't fully included in the emergency planning, but we did get the order to evacuate. I want to say because I know that I am from the city and sometimes we will hear people getting evacuation notices and we'll tend to wonder why didn't they just evacuate? Evacuating is not easy. It's a big deal and a big process. And not only that, there are some people who still, when you work out transportation or you work out things, they still have difficulty. So evacuating costs money. The city did try to work it out where you could be bused to a certain site and they would take you to hotels, so that's a really good thing. The problem that one of the challenges we had on our side of town was that the parish pickup sites for evacuation were outside of North Lake Charles. So the city buses were available to imagine being told, get your stuff, get your family, get on a city bus and get to the outside of the city limits. Well, the city buses here are difficult. The service isn't great in good times. And so it was difficult to get people out. So our clinic was using our van to bus, to drive families to the evacuation site. Well, some people were nervous about that because I learned that the last big hurricane was Hurricane Rita 15 years ago, and it devastated Lake Charles. Not to this effect, but it was bad. And people could not get back in for weeks and months to their homes. So some people were like, I can't be away that long. I can't leave my home. They were worried that they wouldn't get back in. Other people were in their 80s. They were in wheelchairs. They had other difficulties and they could not just jump up and evacuate. That was, and then some people they didn't even get the information. And I think in this day of information, it's hard for us to understand that some people still are not fully connected to all the information they need. So they may know a hurricane is coming and hunker down, but they don't have the information that you need to evacuate this way. There were no teams on the ground. There weren't door-to-door knocking to tell people it's time to get out. And so there were so many challenges that presented. And the reason why I stayed was to make sure that in that aftermath, and even during the hurricane, because we did end up housing an elder and her family during the hurricane, like that, people had another option in a building that was fairly safe and secure. I think we have to remember that in our communities that are not doing well, they're not doing well in the best of times. So when times get difficult, then these communities are really in bad shape. So when we think about the infrastructure of North Lake Charles, where I am, these are older buildings. These are wood buildings that have, been around for generations. And so, some of the people who lived in them inherited these buildings from their parents. These are smaller houses. They're not the new style of housing. They're more vulnerable. If you drive through in the aftermath, many of these homes are missing a part of their roof or their whole roof or some part collapsed. They're in really bad shape, but they started out in bad shape. And so, there were plans to evacuate, but everybody couldn't evacuate. And then there's always people who are like, not believing that the storm is going to be as bad as it is. There were a few of those as well. Right. So, it was just interesting. It was an interesting time. And as time ran out, some people just got caught with no time.
Okay. So how did the clinic fare? Because I know you service a lot of people in that area. How did it work out?
The clinic did, I'm going to say it fared half well. We have a 56,000 square foot facility in Lake Charles. It's huge. And it's divided into two sides connected by a walkway. One of the sides is medical, and that's, we do a lot of work on the medical side. We have primary medical care there. We have dental, and we have a mental health building in the back. We have pharmacy, we have lab, and we have WIC services. That side of the building is the oldest part of the building, and it did not survive well. The roof ended up coming out. A small tornado hit the roof, we believe, because the roof was kind of out in the parking lot. So when the contractor came, he said a tornado definitely hit the roof during the hurricane, which we were having tornado warnings all night. So once that roof came off, then the rain and everything came into the building. So on the medical side of the building, it's pretty much flooded. All of the IT, all the wires are out the top. It's a wrap. But the dental and the gym side, the newer side, it fared really well. And so well that the generators were up and running after the storm. We didn't have water, but we were able to keep a few families there for a couple of days. So until the generators were cut. And so that side did well. So we're looking at a huge, over half of, I would say probably we're looking at about 35,000 square feet of damaged space. And the inability to provide our core services right now at this very moment.
So I am putting up right now a donation link for your clinic to help What kind of expenses are you looking at? What do y'all need there?
So the reason why I'm gonna say we need money is because everything. This is really sad about capitalism and what happens in our country. Right now, we are being price gouged for everything. So we need some mobile medical space to do care. That space is like a mobile medical unit is going for $9,500 a day. A trailer, the ones that we see that go out and do mobile health care. When you start thinking about who is this? When you start thinking about portable, I'm outside in the middle of a pitch black street. When you start thinking about porta potties and stuff, just imagine whatever you would be expected to pay. We're paying 2, 3, and sometimes even 4 times what you'd be expected to pay. So we're working on the mobile showers coming. We're working on the porta potties coming. We did receive a couple of bathrooms today. We just had to order 750 gallons of diesel fuel. So there's some things that the easiest thing to do is give us money. We have had volunteers coming in all day, and we've had a lot of food. People have been bringing us food. We've been preparing it for the community. We have bags of food, we have toiletries, and then we're also cooking hot meals for the community. So I think in that area, local people have been stepping up, to bring food. But that money challenge, like, we are a clinic that is an FQHC that was founded to take care of people on Medicaid and low income people. So, when you start talking about $10,000 a day for a trailer, well, that is how much money or more money than we would have made for patient care in that day. So, we are spending, I think, to bring water into the clinic, if I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember all of these different quotes, but it's about $700 a day to bring water in until the water is back up. We need the water so that we can still resume some limited amount of services, and so that, we can provide showers and everything to the community.
Wow. Wow. So ordinary people could just send money. I know that's what I did today. I sent some money. What has the response been from our community since this is happening to us?
So it's been different responses, and I'm kind of emotional about the response. I mean, I know I called you early, and what I want to give my little disclaimer right now, and that is that my words that I'm saying, I'm not saying them to be harsh about Blackness, because I think this is a moment, where, again, just like I talked about the community, like when you're working in a community that is doing poorly in good times, then how is it in bad times? So I want to recognize that sometimes Black people in the community you're trying to serve can't step up because they don't have all the resources that they need. But one of the things that has made me sad, and I just have to say it about this situation, is that I think I have done a lot of work in the Black community to help us to get equity and to self-govern and to get freedom, justice, and equality. And one of the things that has really disappointed me personally, this is just personally during this time, is that sometimes we say we want to govern our community. We don't want things in our community. We don't want the white man in our community doing stuff. We'll have messaging, but then when the time comes up to step up and do the work to change their community, then we fall back and we're like, why won't the mayor give us water? Or why won't they come and clean our streets versus just cleaning the streets? And so that has been, when you're in a crisis, you want to keep things moving. You want to make sure that your elders and your women get the services they need. And I have found that for us, we want to evacuate and be comfortable and wait on somebody to provide a bathroom for our women to sleep. And that has made me really sad. I had to get a little bit of spiritual counseling this morning, because in my warrior side, I'm like, any able-bodied young man should be here cutting trees up, not for your house only, but for your neighbor's house, for the street, for the elder down the street. Like, we got to make sure we get these generators up for elders to have certain things. And so in my heart of hearts, as a Black woman, as a part of the Black community, I'm I'm less than thrilled with the response of some able-bodied people. To balance that out, I will say there are some amazing, people from the community that are like, tell me where to go, tell me where to be. And these are people who are suffering too, because as I speak to you, I have damage in both of my houses. I've never been in a tornado, and both of my houses have damage. And I can't go home to tend to my own damage because I'm at the clinic trying to make sure that the greater community has what they need. And so, it's some conversations that we've been having at the clinic that we hope to have after we get ourselves out of this about what it means to be in community. And so that kind of hurt my heart a lot, because I've been talking to people who are like, well, this is not working for me and I need these things, so I'm leaving. And it begs the question, how did we turn into these people? Like, I was sharing with you earlier, right the day after the hurricane, we were driving down the street trying to get around to assess to see where we needed to bring water. And there were some trees that were huge trees, massive trees in the street. And we couldn't get around them. And we watched as people who we could have came together as a team to move the trees and to get it done. We watched car after car turn and do something else, and then we watched 2 truckloads of men. I hate to put a color on it because this is not about bashing my own people, but we saw 2 truckloads of white men jump out, regular white. I mean, they weren't working for the city or nothing. Get a chainsaw, cut the trees, and move them out the way. I want to see us return to being those people, like move the wood, clear the path, make a way for the most vulnerable people in your community. So that's my critical observation that I just always have to balance with the observation of wonderful people who are stepping up of all of all backgrounds. And I appreciate them. Like, I really just appreciate it. It hasn't, all people have helped us. There are some people who have said, we got to remember North Lake Charles. We got to remember North Lake Charles. But I just want to say we also have to be leaders, and we have to understand that if some things didn't happen for you historically, why do you think they're going to happen now? Like, this is the time for us to be superheroes, come and serve the community. I cried about it. I'm feeling better now. And I just want to be appreciative of all the help.
Right on, right on. So, Jay, with that said, we got the link up. How did you feel being in this first hurricane? Period.
Ooh, Rolanda. Like, I was like, they might be putting a little bit extra on this. Like, okay, it's a hurricane coming. It was intense. And I'm telling you, on top of the hurricane, there were these small tornadoes which damaged my roof. So I was like, oh my God, I have been in a tornado. Because I think if you didn't grow up with tornadoes, I'm just speaking for myself and those I speak to a lot. That's the scariest thing that you could think of. I'm coming from earthquakes and fires, and I'm like, tornadoes? No. Oh my God, a tornado hit the roof of the clinic. And I was in the clinic. So it was intense. Definitely not something I would like to go through again. I'm grateful for the solid brick building. And was grateful to just have enough courage to be able to let, house some other people.
Right on, right on. So we could definitely send money. Anything else? Because people are listening from around the country. So we shared the link. And I hope people will go there with a donation. And this thing called freedom or revolutionary liberation, or all the beautiful words we like to use as we sit in our comfortable houses and being gangster in good weather. The best way to really help people is to send them something so that they can be okay. Charging somebody almost $10,000 a day for a mobile clinic, that is just shameful. Period.
it's shameful, but also, just to put this in perspective, like the American medical system is one of the most expensive systems in the country. Like, we don't have the best system. It's very expensive and we don't often have good outcomes. Well, when you look at situations like this, it explains to you why we have such waste in medicine. Like, where are the safeguards to say this is a crisis? We're in a disaster right now and there will be no profit off of it. I'm not in the know of what's happening, but if I were working for the government right now, I would have policy that says you cannot do this. In the preparation for disaster, if we're in Louisiana and we have neighboring states, Mississippi, Arkansas, Georgia, wherever the closer states around us, maybe we should be entering into agreements so that they send us resources at cost to help us get through this, instead of a few people getting rich off of a disaster. And when you look at the end of the day, the person that's going to pay for it is you and I, because this cost is going to be sent over to the taxpayer, and it's outrageous and it's unacceptable.
So, do you know if Donald Trump's going to make a stop to see the disaster in North Lake Charles?
Donald Trump came to Lake Charles the other day. As far as I know, he did not come anywhere in North Lake Charles. I could be wrong. We didn't see him at SWLA. He was here and he didn't come here.
Did he offer any support that you know of that would probably help you with some of this, or no?
Not any specific support that I know of. I know, when the president comes, he makes disaster assistance available to the city. So, to be fair and balanced, the city is ultimately getting the water and the gas and stuff up. So those resources are made available from, disaster funding. And so the president did that to the city, and now the city is working to get the utilities up. But as far as coming to see the devastation over near the clinic and, talking to us about our specific needs, that didn't happen.
Okay, I know about that. Anything more you want to share with us? I don't want to keep you out there too long in the dark, Javon. I'm definitely sharing. Everybody named Mama.
Thank you. First, thank you so much, Ro, because I haven't been able to talk. Like, we can't communicate well in Lake Charles in the day. So I just really appreciate being able to say something. And I also want to say, like, if you're a person that has a skill, like, any contractor type skill, we need help out here. Like, I was saying earlier, like, some of the work is just repair and generator, specialties that we don't have a lot of access to. So imagine if I'm telling you that I haven't been on a block in Lake Charles, whether or not what community you talk about, without roof damage or significant damage to a house, then the contractors are working. Well, we are in an underserved part of the city, and we have a clinic that needs to be up and running so that we can continue to see poor people. Like, our clinic is charged with seeing poor people. So, sometimes when that's what you do, and when you don't have as many resources as others, you're not at the front of the list when it comes time, to have services. And so, not only does the clinic, need services like that, but there's a community in North Lake Charles, and this is a majority Black community here, and their homes are in bad condition. So if they're just like, you got all of these groups that come in, the Cajun Navy and all of these groups that come in and help, we need that within our community. Like, if you can put together a group and you can come and you can help a community member put their fence back or put their roof back, or get a tree off of their house or off of their car. There are trees on everything here. Then that is significant. You don't have to necessarily send money, send yourself. We need, like, people power. We need the brilliance of our community to come back and say, oh, we could move this, shift this, lift this. That's kind of what I was hinting on when I said we got to do better at doing the work and clearing the work. Like, just come help.
Right on. Right on. Well, Jay, you know you're in my prayers. Whatever I can do to support, I'm always going to share. I'm praying for y'all, and I know help is on its way. Like, you know, there are some of us who probably don't have much to do. You can make that trip, fly into what would be close. Because how's your airport working?
You know what? I can't even tell you. I haven't even checked on the airport, but yeah, I don't even want to answer that because I didn't think about it. People have been driving in from Houston, and like I said, there are, you know, I had that little rant, but there are people that are making a way and coming in and bringing us stuff from New Orleans. So some airport around works, but I mean, I would be thrilled to my core if I saw a group of young Black men come in and say, we are here to rebuild houses. I mean, I would be thrilled to my core. You know, like I said, I want to end on a good note saying like things are coming along. That medical van is coming to the clinic. We were able to work something else out. Those toilets are there. So every day we're making progress, you know, every day. And we're working really fast. My team, a lot of my team evacuated, but they are working tirelessly on the phone, connecting resources, getting things sent because they know that we're at the clinic, a couple of us, and we can't communicate. So they're just sending things, they're working on it. There's so many different things that can happen. If somebody is interested in helping, all you have to do is chime in on SWLA's Facebook page, Center for Health Services Facebook page, and one of my team will jump on that right away and be able to communicate about what we need or what you can do. SWLA Center for Health Services Facebook page.
Okay. I am putting that in here. The link here. Sorry, it should be coming up. So there is the link for Facebook, SWLA Health. You go to that, that takes you to Facebook. That's right on their page. So y'all reach out because we know we all care and love each other. So it's in these particular times that we just need to show it. You know, just show it. You got some skills, hop on the plane, bring your tool belt, and get out here and let's help our people. Javon, thank you so much for making time for me tonight. I know you're sitting out in the dark because you got like 4 bars or something. And
thank you.
You're on your way home?
Yeah, I'm about to head out now. I'm still in Lake Charles right now. I pulled over, but I'm about to go out to the farm and you know, until the morning. I'm excited about these vans coming, so I'll be back out here in the morning.
Okay, how's your house at home?
I mean, the same. My house is damaged. Like same thing. We don't have any electricity. You know, I live about 15 miles outside of Lake Charles on a farm. Girl, my chickens, the chicken house collapsed totally. When I came back I didn't go back home the next day. It was 3 days later when I went to my house. The chickens would just walk. They really, truly free range chickens now. They just was walking all over. They was a little traumatized, like what just happened to us. But I had to bust up laughing because it was everywhere. But my I know you've been to my house. That metal garage I have, that's damaged. You know, I have roof damage. The siding of my house is gone. The fence blew away. It's just damaged.
How's your house?
That's what I'm saying. There's roof damage. The siding is gone. The guard at the bottom is gone. The fence outside blew away. That's all my house. And then the other house, the house over in Lake Charles. Oh my God, that one. I mean, it looks like the siding from half the house. You know, that's the newer house. Is just gone. I have a patio in the back. The roof of that is gone. I had a big wood fence that blew away. I mean, hurricanes are so powerful. I have seen steel signs bent over. It's incredible, the damage.
Well, Jay, look, I want you to get moving. I thank you so much for catching us up. I'm definitely going to reach out to you, so don't worry about that. But I want to make sure you make it home. I'm praying for you. And
thank you.
Ancestors in the force be with you, sis.
Yes. Okay. But before I leave, I just want to say somehow I still want to work out going to the lynching museum. I still got that in my mind.
Go look different in a month. That's like at the end of the month.
I need to do that. I still want to have the because now I forgot, because so many other things happen in my head. I need a quick text about what we doing again so I could get back on track, because I need to do that.
Okay.
I need to do that because I called you and busted up crying. Like I feel like I need to do a couple of things right now.
Right on. A lot of people saying they happy you're okay. And Javon's a champ.
Tom, thank
Javon,
you.
that's the power of Oya, honey. She came and blew that statue down. Now,
you know what I mean? Like the Confederate statue down. But I was like, that's why I'm okay in this storm. Because I am the storm.
that's Oya, baby. That is
Yes.
Oya. We are praying for you.
Yes.
I'll work on that, Javon. I'll get you some information about what we're going to do by the end of the week, so that way I see where you are and we can take care of all of that. Still wanting to come towards the end of the month. I may come in a day or two before the trip. So if you still wanted to, whatever you need me to do, I'll just come earlier just to lend a hand before we go on to Alabama. So you still on.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
thank you.
I love you.
Thank you to everybody. I love you back, and I just thank you to everybody who was concerned and checking on me and all of that stuff. I so appreciate it. Thank you.
Your mom was a true prayer warrior, because she went on the prayer warrior on Facebook and everything else.
She be about it. She sent me a message. She sent me a message. She said, do you need me to come? I'm coming. I was like, Mama, I want you to come, but I can't, there's no accommodations for you. You're not going to get no water, no lights. So she just stay where you at. But she was ready to roll. And my daughter, Dejanay, will be down here on Thursday. I asked her to come down and connect with the deaf community, because that was we took some food to a deaf family, and it just dawned on me that was another forgotten community. The family we took the food to before the hurricane, I just don't think that they had been properly communicated to about what was going to happen. And so the best I think I can do is bring Dejanay down. So even my daughter, she was like, I'll be there on Thursday. So, we'll see how that goes.
All right, Jay, get home. Love you, sis.
Okay, love you back. Peace.
Peace.
Bye-bye.